It's definitely the summer now. It's hot. It's really, really hot. And even though this is my favorite time of year, probably second behind winter, it is probably the worst time to shoot anything. It is the crappiest time of year for lighting. Today it's summer. It's actually feeling like summer. We're allowed outside, and oh, finally we're getting to enjoy the summer. We're allowed to be outside and all that. But in my opinion, summer, I've quickly learned that summer is actually a pretty crap time to shoot for photography, because since it's summer, since the days are longer, it means that the worst of the worst lighting situations is around for longer, and that is the midday sun. The midday direct sun sucks, in my opinion, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. I know there are some of you out there who love a bit of direct harsh sunlight, who love those geometric shapes, who love geometric shadows and geometric shapes of light and all that. But me personally, I like shooting faces, I like shooting portraits, street photography, that kind of thing. And it just wreaks havoc, in my opinion, for that type of shooting. Just like Superman has kryptonite and I have sour gummy sweets, everyone has a mortal enemy that they just cannot defeat. And for photography, it's crappy lighting. No amount of megapixels, no amount of dynamic range, no amount of color science is going to save your photo if you have crappy lighting. And in my opinion, direct harsh sunlight is the worst of them all. Because in my opinion, when the sun's beating down like it is right now, not a cloud in the sky, you know, that midday sun, it just makes everything look white. It makes everything look like you took the exposure and the highlight slider and hurled it across to the right. It's got that blown out look baked in. Even if you get your exposure right, the colors just look off. And I know there are some psychopaths out there who actually love this type of lighting. You know, a lot of black and white photographers love this sort of light. I'm not one of them. But the reason why I really hate it is because the shadows that it casts on the face just ruins the photo for me. You know, you get raccoon eyes, you get a long witch nose. It just looks a bit gross. What are you gonna do? Just not shoot the entire summer? No, mama didn't raise no bitch. So here are some tips I've come up with to get some fire content even in the crappiest of lighting situations. These particular tips are mainly for eliminating the two things that for me personally ruin photos when shooting in the midday direct sunlight. There's gross droopy shadows that form around the eyes and the nose, and there's gross blown out colors. Tip number one, follow the shade. One of the golden rules of photography is to always follow the light. However, during the midday sun, it's the opposite. The shade is a surefire way of getting even, pleasing light. There's a reason why on professional shoots, you know, they use gigantic scrims to sort of diffuse the light. Shooting in the shade produces a similar look to those big scrims that they use. Look at me, I'm sweating, my melting. It's so hot. Okay. So you can kind of combat that, you know, and just get the model or make sure that your subject's face is sort of tilting backwards into the sun. But it's very unlikely that anyone's going to be walking around, you know, in the sun like this, and your models, they're going to burn their retinas. So that's why everyone walks like this, and what you get is that inevitable raccoon eyes. Yeah, see that? Like, ooh, that just looks terrible in photos. And then you got the long nose, you know, the long witch nose. See, like, look at that. Ooh, look at that shadow. That looks really unflattering. Looks it's not very nice. So that's why I, preferably, when I'm out shooting street during the midday, the hot midday sun like this, to avoid these ugly raccoon eyes, I will aim for subjects who are walking in the shade. Because look at this. Look at that. Wait, you can't. Like, you can tell. Can you tell that I shoot this by myself? Look at that. Oh, look how much better that looks. Look how much better that. Oh my gosh, it's like a softbox, guys. So this is what happens when you shoot someone in the shade. You know, that suddenly the shadows become lots softer. You don't have that harsh, defined shadow line. Like, look, harsh, defined shadow line. Ooh, yuck, no. Oh, very nice. If you have to shoot outdoors during the midday sun, my bit of advice is to find someone who's sitting in the shade and shoot them there. But if that doesn't work out, then there are other things you can do. You know, you can carry this gigantic diffuser with you everywhere. You know, there's a reason why cinematographers use gigantic scrims like this in the midday on professional shoots, because it just looks way better. Why don't I just shoot all my videos like this? Hold this thing above my head. Oh my god, I actually really like the look of that. Oh, very nice. Looks, dare I say, cinematic. Cinematic. Oh my god, I'm actually losing it in this heat. Oh, I'm going delirious, guys. The dehydration, I'm sweating so much. No, I like that diffusion. Okay, so let's see how long I can hold this for before my shoulders give out. Anyways, guys, I'd like to take this moment here under this beautiful lighting to ask you guys to subscribe. You know, a lot of you guys who watch my videos don't subscribe, and it, you know, kind of bums me out. You know, why won't you subscribe? You know, everyone here is really nice, we're all cool. You know, we talk about film photography, we talk about cameras, and you know, it'd just be a right shame if you watched this video and didn't subscribe. Tip number 2, find interesting pools of light. Like right now, like you know, the light is sort of spilling in through the trees and through the leaves, and this is sort of creating like a nice pool of light right here. There's a lot of shadow, but this little pool of light, oh, that looks quite nice. Find interesting pools of light, for example, light that shines in between buildings that create nice slivers, nice geometric shapes of light, nice geometric shapes of shadow as well. You know, through leaves right now, like this is sort of shooting through the leaves on that tree to the left of me. You know, they produce really pleasing patterns of light. So try to get your subject to stand in these nice pools of light. Tip number 3. One of the problems of shooting the midday sun is you're sometimes going to get unwanted silhouetting. You know, as the sun hits the back of the subject, you know, the front of that subject is going to be completely blacked out. It's just going to be in complete shadow. So you've got to find ways to fill in those unwanted shadows, and that's basically getting your subject standing next to reflective surfaces. And of course, one way to do that is to literally have a reflector. But of course, if you do something like street photography, getting a reflector on your subject, it's just like no. I mean, you could try it, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. When I've been shooting street in the middle of the day, during the midday sun, what I've been looking out for is reflective surfaces, and you'll be surprised that reflective surfaces are actually everywhere. Like the white concrete pavement, that's actually quite good at reflecting light and filling in those shadows. Grass, when people sit down on the grass, low to the grass, when their faces are near to the grass, that's actually pretty good at becoming a bounce. Glass pane buildings, you know, windows, books, when people are reading in the park with their newspaper or their actual book, like that actually acts as a really, really good bounce and fills in the face really nicely. If you're lucky, what you'll get is a nice halo effect. You get like a really nice glowing outline around your subject's outlining the subject that creates this nice halo glowing effect, and the bounce from the book or the bounce from the reflective surface that fills in their face also produces a really pleasing glow. And it's actually one of my favorite sort of lighting situations. Of course, you have to be very lucky. And tip number 4, using a Pro Mist filter. This one is completely subjective, as with all of these tips. This one is completely subjective, and I know this little guy is not everyone's cup of tea. You know, it's not to everyone's taste, but this little filter is it's a diffusion. It's a diffusion filter, and it basically what it does, it blooms the highlights, it softens out the highlights, it makes those highlights glow. Again, some people think these suck. I don't. The one that I'm using, the one I use on my XT3, the one I use on my X100V, is a quarter stop pro mist filter. They come in. For me, that's just enough pro mistiness. I've used the 1/8 stop, and that wasn't enough pro mistiness. Basically, this is just a bit of a filler video because I wanted to be shooting some street photography, some street POV stuff, but my camera from GoPro still hasn't arrived, which is kind of annoying. I know a lot of people who will just refuse to shoot in crappy lighting, and you know what? I'm one of them. But since it's the summer, we sort of have no choice because the good lighting is golden hour, and we only have golden hours at like what, 8, 9 o'clock right now here in the UK. So it's just, that's just an inconvenient time. I am very much of the mindset that, if there's an obstacle in the way, it's there to got round of. You shouldn't let a little obstacle like bad lighting get in your way. There's still a way around it. You can still get good shots, even in the crappiest of lighting that is the midday sun. You just got to be a bit more creative, and it's good to challenge yourself. Hope you enjoyed that one. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed and the people who continue to subscribe. I appreciate everyone who messages me in my DMs on Instagram. Hugely appreciated. Been getting a lot of nice, encouraging messages from you guys. They mean a lot. Follow me on Instagram, guys. I post there every day, basically. Check out my portfolio at zainreader.com. And with all that said and done, boys and girls, keep learning, keep shooting. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.